Hi, my name is Michael, this is The Slice, and in today's episode we're talking to Bruce Gorniak. So today I am joined with Bruce. Bruce, are you excited about today's chat?
Yes, yeah, looking forward to it. Excited,
Good.
yeah.
So I'll just explain the rules. You get 20 minutes. After the 20 minutes has gone, that's it. It's end of conversation. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Good. Right, so there's the 20 minutes. I'm going to press it, and there we are. So Bruce, tell me a little bit about you and what you're up to.
A bit about me, right? I'm 56 now. I've been running, in terms of the business, I've been running the business now for, the business is Miltec Digital. Been running it for 21 years and 7 months, according to LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I've been married for 25 years this year.
Yeah.
2 kids, they're important to me. The business, going back to business, I mean, that started off from absolutely nothing at all over 21 years ago. We haven't borrowed any money in that time apart from the very beginning where we borrowed some money to buy some computers. Since then we've been totally self-funding.
Yeah.
And we've managed to grow it to a reasonable size over that period of time, and want to continue to do so.
So explain a little bit about what you do on a day-to-day basis for your clients.
On a day-to-day basis, we largely ensure that we deliver them business through their websites. That's the primary driver of the business. Because we develop websites, but also we do search engine marketing through the website. So that could be through organic optimization or through pay-per-click optimization as well, pay-per-click traffic, or a combination of the two. So we build websites and then we promote them so they get business through Google primarily.
Yeah.
That's the long and the short of what we do. We do other things as well. We do get involved with some design work, but largely that's offloaded to other providers. We've done brochures in the past, and we can still do that now. I've got a background in marketing. But when I graduated back in a long time ago, it was a business and marketing degree, and that's kind of what I've been doing ever since, in some way, shape, or form. But of course, it's changed so much over the years that
it has. It has. And how do you, websites and obviously the likes of Google, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, they're always constantly changing. Algorithms are changing. The way we use the internet is changing. How do you find that your clients keep up to date with all of that? Or do you have to kind of play a big part in keeping them up to date? Is that where you come in and use the strong points there?
Basically, we want clients to just for them to do what they do well, which is do their business, and then we take care of everything else. So as you say, over time there's been huge changes in the algorithms of Google, Facebook, and so on and so forth. And what we need to do is we need to be ahead of the game, or at least in step with the game. And we need to be telling them this has happened, so this is what we need to do. This is why we're doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
Just recently, just a small example, recently Google's decided that all its search results are actually going to go through the mobile version of the website. So if the mobile version of your website isn't absolutely as good as it could be, doesn't convert as well as it could be, then you could find your ranking slipping. So that's something that we're constantly having to review and update client sites in light of.
It sounds like a headache for a business owner. I mean, as a videographer, I do a lot of content for websites, for social media. But when I'm asked about video and how it helps ranking, that's where my expertise ends, because I know enough for myself, but you're constantly in it day in, day out, and you're seeing the changes, you're seeing what's being implemented. I mean, I didn't even know that Google are now saying that mobile phones are the key, because it makes sense, because we're more and more each day, we are spending more time on our mobiles. So that does actually
Absolutely.
make sense. But from a
Yeah.
business owner to an accountant or a builder, or, to people that have no understanding of social media, or very little understanding of social media, it must be a minefield when they don't have your services to kind of help them get along. It must be a minefield. So how do you come in? How do you offer those services to help take the burden of social media and websites off their shoulders?
Well, we do it through an honest conversation is
Yeah.
the answer. We're very transparent in our approach, and we're aware of the fact that to get client interest in what we're doing, we need to be open and honest about what's going on in the world, and if we take that approach, I think it makes all the difference with the opposite the client, because if they going to trust us to spend their money wisely, which is what it's all about at the end of the day, it's all about return on investment. Then we're just going to have to give them information, tell them why we're doing what we're doing in the way that we're doing it, in an open way, and we hope that approach wins customers over at the end of the day.
I think so, because earning money is a hard thing.
Absolutely.
And we're constantly waiting for that next job to be able to either invest in our business or to buy better equipment or this, that, and the other. It's a constant cycle. So yeah, I mean, if I was to use your services, I want to make sure that, well, do you know what? If I'm spending that, I need to have that return. It's not a case of hoping for that return. It's needing that return, so that you can then go, well, do you know what? That worked for me. I'm going to double my efforts next year, or whatever, kind of structure you have in place, and go, do you know what? That's working. Let's push that more. So for you to deliver is obviously, a priority, because then they'll want to spend more. Is that usually the case?
Yeah. Absolutely. If we deliver, then customers will keep paying for our services, because guess what? They're getting leads and prospects coming through their website, which is effectively what they're paying for. But it is interesting that our focus is on primarily on websites and getting business through websites. But if you look at how marketing has changed over the years, do you remember the days? Well, you're only young, but we used to get bombarded with direct mail continually. The post box. Letterboxes used to be filled with direct mail from companies. I mean, that's disappeared now.
I do remember those days.
Oh, do you? Oh, so you're not that young.
I am an 80s child. Yeah.
All I'm reflecting on the fact that marketing has changed over the years. It doesn't mean that direct mail doesn't work anymore. In fact, some research has been done, and a good piece of direct mail can still get 5% return on investment. Well, some pay-per-click campaigns, if done badly, will get far less than that because they've not worked terribly well. So we're not in the mode of discounting all forms of marketing. When we talk to clients about their marketing process, we will look at things like other obvious forms of marketing that are perhaps being ignored because it's all about digital. Well, hang on a minute. Are there other things that we can be exploring beyond Facebook, beyond Google, beyond LinkedIn, social media? There is other stuff going on out there, but our expertise is in the digital area. So we just try and do the best as we can for our clients through SEO and PPC. And after 21 years, you kind of hope that we weren't doing too bad a job.
Do you feel like you're constantly battling against social media companies to try and figure them out, and then they change the game instantly, and then they'll go back on what they were doing 6 to 12 months ago? Do you feel like it's in terms of the wider thing? Obviously, it's everything, isn't it? Because like I used to get a lot of engagement on Facebook, and a lot of my business comes through Facebook. Don't necessarily use my website. However, I would love to have my website also bringing in, that stream of business as well as Facebook, and that's the thing, isn't it? I think sometimes people can get quite complacent with one format of
Yeah.
engagement, and then they go, I don't need the rest because I'm doing really well here. Well, yeah,
Uh,
but if you were doing great everywhere, then do you know what I mean? You can never be too busy, is what I always say.
You're absolutely right, and we still have clients now where all their only form of marketing is through search engine marketing, through SEO and PPC, and I do say to them, we shouldn't put all our eggs into the one basket. We have to look at other forms of marketing, because you never know what might happen. Back in April 2012, there was a massive Google algorithm change, and just a huge percentage of commercial websites dropped like a stone on Google, and it did a lot of damage in the industry. And we managed to survive that sort of that process, Google's new process. But I say it caused a lot of damage, and what it meant, it exposed companies that put all the eggs into the one basket of marketing, and it's a dangerous game to play. Very dangerous game to play.
It is, but then, on the other side, I think, not that I'm defending anybody, but I think also it does become so expensive and so time consuming to try and figure out what is the best way. But you're right, you should never put, all your eggs in one basket. That's a given. However, I think the job that you play for businesses is a vital one. And if nobody has, before this episode, inquired into those types of services, then I think hopefully after this video, people will actually go, well, that's something I need. It's something that I know that I need, so I think I'll be messaging you after this.
Well, our approach is, I said, because we take an honest approach, we will say, look, this is the way your website is at the moment. This is the potential of the website. But if it's going to perform well, it needs this, it needs that, and it needs the other. It's normally a straightforward process of it will need content, it will need backlinks, it might need some work on conversion on the pages. But equally, if you've got a whole rook of backlinks coming into the website, it's likely that you have to spend very little on some of the backlinking work that we would normally do. Just put some decent content up there, and the site could fly. So we take an honest approach. We will say, well, that's working really well, so we don't have to concentrate on that. So we don't need to spend any money on that. We just need to focus on some key phrase rich content, and that way we can get things moving. So it's about tweaking the factors so that we get it right, and being, as I say, taking an honest approach and just saying this is the reality of the situation. We try to be a no bullshit, a bullshit free zone as well. So we do speak.
And that is 100%. I mean, I will tell someone if I've seen a video that I just don't think works for them, because at the end of the day, it's not that I want the work. There's work out there for many businesses and that are in my shoes, but I always will tell someone my honest opinion. My honest opinion doesn't mean that I am the right person and I'm gonna, everything that I think and agree and disagree with is right or wrong. However, I do look at things, and I know with my process as a creative filmmaker, I will look to go, well, actually, someone's doing a great interview here, but do we have the right shots to cut to rather than just pretty shots? Do we have the shots that are actually subconsciously going to play a part in someone's decision to go, actually, I want to message them? The music, do we know that the music's the right type of music to really, show this brand off? There's so many different subconscious tones going off all in one go that people just think it's click a button and turn on some lights, and it's not. In some cases it is for some people, but I spend a lot of time making sure that every second of a video is usable, whether it be subconscious tones or whatever. And I think that's the same thing. It's, you obviously take a lot of time in looking at what you're doing and making sure that you are offering the best that you can offer. How do you find, or how have you found lockdown? How have you found that the business has adapted or changed or embraced video? How do you find all of this pandemic? How has it changed your business?
Well, all meetings now that we have are done via Zoom or
Yeah,
via Skype, or Teams. It's just as simple as that. Obviously, I'm stuck in the house and not gone out, which I do miss. I do miss going out physically, meeting with people, and
yeah,
selling has almost become a dirty word, you know. But so all meetings, like I say, are virtual. We are busy because we had business that we got on board before the whole coronavirus pandemic.
yeah.
We're slowly but surely working through. Got clients that need their websites upgrading, and one or two of them are saying, "I've got the time now to do it, so let's do it whilst I've got the time," which is great. But we launched a new website on Friday. I'm just about to talk to the same company to talk to them about how we can best promote it. So that's going to be an hour's long conversation in about half an hour's time. So we're quite lucky in the sense that so far we've not been badly hit by by this awful coronavirus pandemic. The question will be one of how long is it going to last, though, because at some point I just don't know how I'm going to prospect for brand new business. I'm thinking about social media and perhaps using LinkedIn, but it's not easy at the moment. It's not easy for any of us to be prospecting for new business.
Yeah, and I think you actually hit the nail on the head. I've been quite scared to some degree to sell my wares. I do a lot of teaching online in terms of doing Skype to get people camera confident. Even my video workshop with smartphones can be done online, but I've been hesitant to want to be out there selling because I don't technically sell anyway. I'm someone that just says, well, that's what I do. If you want it,
Yeah,
come and have a word with me, you know?
yeah,
And I
yeah,
will always help someone before I will charge someone.
yeah.
But you have to then draw the line of, well, how much am I helping someone and how much is my business going to suffer if I keep on helping people? So
Absolutely.
it's finding that fine line. But I think the longer this goes on, the more people go, well, actually, this is what I can do to earn some money. I'm just going to put it out there. But by making sure that you are still doing the free stuff and saying, well, actually, it's okay to give a bit of free to say this is, this will help you through. I did a series of YouTube tutorial videos in the first week of lockdown. I'm due to do a couple more. But then obviously I'm doing the slice now. So, it's all about just trying to keep busy and offer and still being open for business to say, well, yes, we can still do that. It's there if you need it, because there are certain people out there that will use this time to train, and then there are other people that'll just binge watch Netflix. So there's two types of people. How have you had chance to Netflix and chill, or have you just been business?
Largely just been business. Obviously in the evening I'm Netflix and chill, but
Obviously.
yeah, it's mostly been about business. I've been writing a lot of content for client sites recently, so that's taken up quite a proportion of time. And this particular customer whose site we launched on Friday, that took up quite a lot of time, a lot of content. And it needed a lot of finessing before we were happy it was absolutely right before we launched it. So that's hoovered up quite a lot of time.
Yeah.
But it's about getting it right, as you were saying. But it is also interesting into what you were saying about offering something out free before pulling a client on board. That is so that the new kind of form of marketing that we're having to do, particularly in the digital world. It's you normally have to give out information to get people interested in what you're doing. That's the case for you. It's the case for us as well. So I'll be looking at that too. Well, we've kind of always done it, but might look at doing it more over the next couple of weeks.
I think because there is not that personal connection, you can't, because you do sell more business when you're one-to-one, having a coffee, finding out how somebody works and operates. Because that's been stripped and taken away, we are adapting. And I think also, by giving something for free, it's okay to give things for free because you're saying, well, look, I'm an influencer in my industry. This is what I'm good at. This is my knowledge. I'll give you a bit of knowledge to go, this is enough for you to go, you can invest in me, you can trust me. And I think it's, again, going back to finding that fine line of, how much should you give? Because you should never give too much, because then you're obviously devaluing yourself. So it is that fine line. But it sounds like, you seem like you're still doing very well, and that's great. It's good to see businesses still doing well, and the fact that you're finding time to Netflix and chill as well. That's also important. Have you watched anything really cool on Netflix that you wouldn't have had time for?
I've started Ozark. Have you seen Ozark at all?
No, never heard of it. I watch documentaries. I watch a lot of royal family documentaries and World War One and Two documentaries. That's my
Fantastic. Well, this is Ozark's. I've seen the first two series of Ozark, and I've now started the third series, and it's kind of interesting, a bit weird, but pretty gripping as well. But one to look at if you've got a little bit of time.
I have loads of time. But yeah, I will definitely check it out. One for you to check out is The Good Place. If you like comedy, it's American. Ted Danson's in it, and it's about heaven and hell. But it's really good. If you get a chance to watch it, then I'd definitely suggest watching The Good Place.
Good Place. Right, I'll make a note of that. I love talking to people about Netflix and getting recommendations about Netflix, because
it's stuff that you would never have come across.
Yeah, exactly. And knowing what's good, bad, and ugly, I find it's much better just to talk to people about that. Sometimes there's some of the review.
Your time has gone. That's it. You're done. And the rule is you've got to be. That's it. You're done. You got to go now. How did you find it? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it's good fun. You're very, very easy to talk with, actually, Michael. So
thank you.
Credit to you. You're very, very chatty and so on. So yeah, it's very, very straightforward. Thanks very much.
No, I'm glad you enjoyed it, and it's always a pleasure to sit down with you and have a chat. We normally do it in a coffee shop, but this whole new way of life has obviously been different. But it's been an absolute pleasure, and thank you so much for your time. So you enjoyed it then?
Yes. Very much so.
That's the main thing. Well, if anybody would like to watch any previous episodes that we've done, then please go to youtube.com/Take the Cape Pro. If you'd like to watch any new ones, and don't forget to hit subscribe on YouTube, or just follow us on Facebook at Take the Cape Productions. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all soon.